Welcome back. I'm Alfred Lemmermont Weber, and again, we're very privileged today to be with Ray Kostelandich and Dr. Sam Muggsy. Welcome,
Hello,
Ray and Sam. And
Hi.
possibly today you'll have to tell me that we're also with a multi-dimensional, interdimensional entity. George, is it?
right.
Yeah. And also, we're here to have an update from multidimensional inputs. This is something that has been built up over time. We've had lengthy interviews and cataloging with Ray, who's a multi-generational contactee, and he has shared with us at Exopolitics TV and elsewhere his the 32 different interdimensional species that he's been in contact with, he and his family, multi-generationally. And you can check that out at Exopolitics TV and also at newsinsideout.com. And as well with prior interdimensional updates of importance, exopolitical events with regard to what the various galactic governance entities and advanced ethical interdimensional civilizations that are concerned with our planet are doing to stabilize and to make sure that our planet Gaia and humanity gets through this transition. And so we're now here with a latest update, which, from what I've heard, is consistent with a number of the other multidimensional updates that we've been getting. And so, Sam, could you bring us up to date on what you were saying, and Ray, as to the planet Earth being actually repositioned, so it's not an effect of this war in Saturn, the Earth, it's being moved, various things. Could you bring us up to date on that score?
What has been happening is, I don't believe what comes in always telepathically, because I'm in a show me state, and so when George sends me information telepathically, I go and look it up. I see the evidence, and he always tells me that the confirmations are there if you go look. So I've been digging deep to find the evidence. I've been sitting on information for about 2 weeks now because I wanted to see if anybody else was going to get it. And I've been cataloging on ebh.club the galactic battles that's been going down. And in several incidences, Ray and I have joined together where we were actually gone with them telepathically on various battles. And I have cataloged that on EBH as a diary under George's diary. And then he has given me information about moving the planet into another dimension. And what they're doing at the current time is that they are using a blue-greenish color laser pulsating tool to construct a net-like structure around the planet, which is actually moving it into a higher dimension. At the current time, we're in the lower rungs of the fourth dimension. From the third dimension, we had to move through the lower rungs of the fourth dimension to get to the fifth dimension. And as we've done this, there's been a lot more Archon activity, and that's why the Dark Cabal wanted to open up CERN to create these stargates so that more Archonic energy could be inflicted on this planet. That's also why they created all these wars and strife, is because when you're killing another person, you're actually opening yourself up for Archonic possession. And this is being done as we speak, and why they've done this horrendous battle and war, and why they keep it on is because they want to be able to possess as many people as they can, because it's part of their third dimensional net of enslavement that they've done throughout the eons. Is that when you kill somebody else, you're not ready for fifth dimensional life, because you have not learned your lesson yet about the value of life. And so this is what's been going on. Now, the benevolent ETs, believe it or not, there's a lot of people that pray and meditate. And through this, they've been able to get acceptance from the 100th monkey that we're all ready to go. We're done with this third dimensional life. We're tired of the evil. We don't want the wars. We want to live in peace, and we want to take care of our planet. And this, not only just from praying, but also people stepping into their power and realizing that the importance is not exterior, it's interior. And a lot of people have really done their work and perfected their spiritual essence, which is awesome to see, because now we're all moving into this new frequency. Also, I want to let people know that around my house is various ships. You can see them. I got night goggles and I can see them. They're not just dots. You can actually see these circular craft, and they have white lights on the exterior of the bottom of the ship, and in the center they have a red ring of lights, and in the middle of that is where this ray or laser is coming through that is actually pulsating us gradually into a higher frequency. So there is a net around the planet. They are moving us up. It is going into a higher frequency, and we should start to see and feel more relaxed, freedom. And the other thing that I want to mention is that George, he sends me telepathic messages, and he told me to give people that have a lower frequency a warning that if they're out constructing the negative energy type of emotional ploys, like manipulating or scamming or stealing or those lower dimensional behaviors, that the dial on the universal law of cause and effect has been turned up. And if you are doing these lower frequency behaviors, that you're going to get slammed with cause and effect right away. And it's going to start to get more and more intense. So it's better to stay in the guarded, meaning boundary love frequency. You have boundaries in the love frequency. And this is going to help your person, your spiritual self, to come out and be able to adapt to these new frequencies. So this has been my study. I'm cataloging it on evh.club. And then my friend Ray here, he's pretty funny because I'm doing all the work and he sits on his couch and they come in on his TV and then they casually give him an update through his TV. And then he comes to me and he goes, "Oh my God, they just said blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've known that." But I had to dig for mine. And I think it's because that's the way I wanted it. I wanted to dig. I wanted to find confirmation. So that's the way that I got my latest intel is through George showing me this stuff and seeing. And we can talk about the battles, but I'd like to pass the ball to Ray and have him speak about his latest TV contact that he's just had in the last 24 hours.
The reason that she's right on what she's saying. Can you hear me, Alfred?
Yes, yes.
And if or George or any of my Fab Four, other than the little 3-inch guys, came into her house or on TV,
Now what's that kind of noise that we're hearing in the background?
George and them are moving real fast through timelines. The information, before I give it, I want to tell you the show you did last night with Peter King and Emily Windsor Craig was awesome. Emily is right on what is going on. And the way the shift will be, it will be gradual because Sam's right about the safety net with the lasers and moving us deeper into other dimensions through outer space. Because of the process, what the information I got from my Fab Four with George and the Nardi, there's 6 billion good ETs in the process out there. That's why you're hearing this fast motion of what they have to do as we go through this to where we get up to the final point of fifth dimension. And as we get closer to Orion, because all this is going to change our timelines. And as we're going through this process with Tolik, with his people that actually put planet Earth through slow motion, this had to be set so that what's happening now, no one would get killed or hurt as we're going through this. And with this safety net that Sam was talking about, my guys were talking about the lasers with this net that's guiding us deeper into other dimensions. We have to go through this process in order to go through higher frequencies to the fourth and to the fifth, through the changes that we're going to go through as humans and change. And this is what we have to go through. This is probably hard for your audience to understand because they're not kind of involved like us we are. But everybody's going to know this, feel this, see changes as we go through it. And with the evil ones that are third dimensional, other than the archons, there are some archons that are third dimensional that can't cope with the frequency rising like it's supposed to. They're going to disappear. They're going to do everything in their power. There's 250 reptilians down here to try and do whatever they can. We have a lot of protection. There's so many good ETs out there. There's ETs I haven't even heard of what their names are or where they're from. But it's a galactic family type situation that they're all gathering together to make this go smooth for us as we go through it. I hope you understand that.
Yeah. How do you get any concept of? I know that time, when one is going through dimensions, time is a relative concept, and so do you know how long those of us in 3 and 4D, how long this ascension transition phase is?
Well, it's going to take, as they say, to me, it's going to take time.
Uh-huh.
Everything has to balance the way that they're doing this for us. You know, I said it in my meetings, 2015 is the setting year. There's going to be an amazing thing happening in this year. People will feel this, see things happening like never before. To the major year of 2017. But what I want to just say right there is, we're not predicting a year. This is information that us contactees get to get out to the people, like on your shows or any shows that we do.
Right.
And before 2017, after, this can happen at any time through the timelines that we have to go through to get to the time period when the process will really jump the blink of your eye for the ones that are ready to go forward into the 4th and 5th. Because we got a lot of people down here that, you know, don't want to advance, but they will go to a 3D type, third dimensional planet out there. They're not going to be alone. We're not the only ones going through this process out there. There's many ETs that don't want to go and advance like some of our humans that want to stay third dimensional, but down the road will eventually turn 4th and 5th as they go through it. But the ones that are ready with the consciousness and love and faith, there's so much involved here that will actually go quicker and change like we're supposed to. You know, it's our time to evolve into a higher frequency. Sam kind of said it, with a more peaceful planet, no wars, healthier than ever before. They understand the two big things down here on our planet, greed and disease. That's going to eliminate itself as we go through this. Muggsy's coming out. I guess we lost him. Hang on. You there, Muggs? Muggsy, you there? Are you there? Can you hear me, Alfred?
Yes, we've been trying to add her. Yes, we've been trying to add her. Are you on now, Sam?
I'm here.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you get to hear pretty much of that, Sam, or not?
No, she didn't.
Okay.
It's okay. Go ahead, Ray.
But this is something that's going to take time. But for the ones that are ready, it's going to be quick as we go through this ascension, which we're doing. And we're protected. We're going through major timelines. They're going through major timelines right now. There's galactic wars as we speak. There's things that these other ETs are putting in place for all this to happen. And then ones that have underground bases down here, the ETs that are walking amongst us, these people are programmed when this gets real close to do what they're supposed to do. And, we're going to go through this smooth, but it's going to be a time period. We're not just going to, we're there. It's the process that everything has to go through, even on Mother Earth, because of the changes on our planet as we move closer to Orion. And when we do that, Alfred, we're in a different timeline. Everything changes, and it changes everything for us.
Right. Now, when Dr. Sam was talking about in the first part of the segment about the laser about the safety net that's being built with the lasers tools. Could you just comment on that and give some more background? Excuse me.
Which one of us?
Sorry, Ray. Just to get some more perspective on it.
Well, kind of what she's saying is what I got the information. I get the information on my team. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I get the information on my TV. My TV's off. Sam has to work her little gazoots a little bit more. But anyway, it is a safety net because Emily said it right. You can't jar the bubble, in this case, planet Earth, because the shift has to be gradual. And if we go in this spontaneous, it would erupt things and the plates would shift, all kinds of things would happen. And this is why George and the other ETs use these lasers that she's talking about in this safety net, guiding them through multi-dimensions as we go through this time period and timelines in this process to move into fourth and fifth dimension. And everything will be set in its place. But this is a process that they know how to handle this for our planet. And we're just kind of going through the ride. But as we go through this, everybody's going to see how it changes and feel the vibrations of what we're going to go through and see things. They're going to make sure we go through this smooth. And
right.
That's what they're doing.
Right. So this technology is actually a multi-dimensional technology. Is that
correct? Correct. Yeah.
And what it does is that it's about shifting the Earth through dimensions, through frequency dimensions. Is that what the case is?
Right. And timelines as we're going through, because they're going through timelines in the future, and they're looking back to see how planet Earth is going through this. This is how they check everything out and they come back. And there's so many ETs involved out there. And because there's galactic wars out there with Draco-Hydro reptilians, Orion Rays, the list goes on. And, you know, when I got the information on February 10th from George in the Nordique saying, we will take care and do what we're supposed to do. You as humans will do what you're supposed to do. And this is the way this thing is planned out, and this timeline of how it's going to work. And they know what to do. You know, because we're evolving as we speak, but it's a slow process. To make your audience understand, the best I can say this as a human. But the information I get from my Fab 4, I understand where they're coming from as a human. It's the way this process has to be, because it's beyond us. You know, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a contactee. I get the information out that they want me to get out. It's like Sam. You know, Sam, they talk to Sam telepathically. They talk to me in my language, our telepathic. Our George comes on while we're doing this show, and he's talking ET language. He will also be talking telepathic to let me know something that I should know, and I can throw it out on your show. This is what this is all about with him coming in the picture. Your audience gets a chance. This is history in the making to hear an ET language or other ETs come in. Plus, they're letting us know we're not alone. This is not bullshit. This is real.
Right, right. So that this is uh, this is a real interdimensional communication. Uh, um, right.
Exactly. But this is the way he's doing what he's doing. And down the road, when it's time for George, because he speaks our language, they speak many languages. When he's ready and that time factor is there, then everybody will be amazed to hear Star Person ET talking our language and saying things that everybody understands. But right now, it's the process through the contactees, in Muggsy's case, telepathic, and letting her know things because she's pretty important right now with me because we talk every day. And George comes on, and she's in Arizona, I'm in St. Louis, and we're in the comfort of our own home, Alfred, and we're hearing sonic blast, galactic wars of these people taking out these bad ETs that have been causing so much this pain and the way of life down here. And it's all going to change as we go through this because it's our time to evolve as humans. We have to progress in this frequency because it's third dimensional on planet Earth. When you're in the fourth and you're in a third dimensional world, you can't compete with this higher frequency. Neither can the reptilians or the Orion Greys or the Archons in a third dimensional carbon atmosphere down here on Earth. We would all disappear or leave or die. You can't handle the frequency. Right now it's so low, but our frequency is moving up. We're going to be protected. They won't. They can't handle it. They put the frequency so low, the reptilians, so we couldn't evolve and move forward. And that's all going to change now. It's our time. And George and all the other ETs will make sure that all of us humans go through this process very smooth, and we will kind of inch through the shift, like Emily was saying, because that has to happen as part of the process. And that's the way I understand it from my elephant man, George, who's part of my Fab Four. This guy is a million years of technology. They're so smart. And I've learned a lot from them. I've been in this for over 55 years. So I hope that kind of helps you understand a little bit more. And I know you're very smart, Albert. I'm not trying to cut you down there.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I really appreciate on behalf of our audience and myself the information that you're and the perspective that you're bringing us, and a lot of it also is consistent with other reports that we're getting from multi-dimensional perspective, that there's a tremendous amount of universe operations going on around our planet, almost an unprecedented scale. So I just wanted also to provide that perspective. Sam, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Good. Could you provide any some reflection on what Ray was just saying, that this is part of the evolution of humanity, Earth humanity, that we are going through this dimensional shift?
Well, first I want to let people know that Ray and I get our information separately, and he does it his way, and I do it my way, and it's pretty ironic that I'll be thinking something about what George has just told me, and I'll be typing it, and all of a sudden Ray will blurt out the same thing as I'm typing it. So I'll hit send, and then he just boom spits it out the same thing. So that's how we get our confirmation that what we're getting is accurate, and we're both tapped into George. The other thing that I think is worth noting is Tolik has talked about the slowing down. The Andromedan Council has slowed down the planet Earth. One thing that George has enlightened me with is that there are approximately 15 million different ET species that are underneath his command as he is orchestrating his cleanup mission. And if you look at the face of a clock, he's only responsible from 3 to 6 o'clock. And there are other admirals, whatever title you want to give them, that are responsible for other areas of the clock, which would be the parameter around our planet. And what the Andromedans have done is slowed down the planet so that if there is any type of issue with earthquakes or plate sliding or whatever that would be destructive to us, that they can catch it and correct it before it does any major destruction. That's why we see tornadoes. They might start, but then they can stop it and soften it so that it doesn't really hit our planet. So they've slowed the planet down. They've also gone ahead in the timeline to see what we're experiencing in the future, and if there's anything that's destructive, they'll come back and correct it. And now they're actually pulling us into a higher frequency, into a new dimension. CERN is not going to be allowed to go off. And what George showed me this morning was that if they do open up some kind of a stargate, that they should be prepared, because the benevolent ETs that are the warriors, they're not cuddly type of beings. The warriors, they mean business, and they're telepathic. They have done this many, many, many times. So if they open up CERN and they have a stargate, that the benevolent ETs that are for humanity are prepared to jump through that stargate, and they will protect it so that nothing nefarious can come through. Any other stargate, they have other ones over in Bethlehem, they have them in mountains, they have them in various, even the castles they have, they're under, some of them are even underwater, but they have them all protected at this time, and the benevolent ETs will come through. We also have beings from the future that will intervene and stop it. It's not going to be allowed. But so as they're moving us forward, and I think it's really ironic that I'm hearing a lot of people telling me that they have vertigo, that they're experiencing like a dizziness, that they have like an energetic flu. These are all symptoms of us moving through these timelines. There are people that are so sensitive that are actually picking up on it, and also feeling a little bit disoriented as we're moving through. So there are side effects that we're experiencing, but the funny thing is that they're pulling us up out of this lower frequency. So a lot of the Dark Cabal's plans to do lower dimensional destruction won't exist in the higher frequencies, such as the chemtrails. So you'll start to see the chemtrails start to dissipate, and that's not going to be tolerated very much longer either. And George also said that when they spray chemtrails, before they can hit it with HAARP to do a destructive means, that the benevolent ETs will affect the HAARP so it does beneficial stuff, because it can be used both ways. So the benevolent ETs are letting them spray the chemtrails, and then they turn it into something that's good for us. But what we need to do is to protect ourselves and take responsibility. And if you're giving your power over to Western medicine, that's not the way to go either. And you'll find yourself taking pills that you don't need to be taking, that are actually bringing your body down. So there's a lot going on right now. I think it's amazing that it's actually the Nephilim that is causing this. Everybody keeps saying the Anunnaki, but they don't know who the Anunnaki really is. The problem is the Nephilim. And the Nephilim are in one of the 56 moons behind Saturn. That's where they've been constructing their diabolical plans. There's 3 moons there. They're on each side of Titan. Titan being the biggest one is where these Nephilim are hanging out, doing a lot of this stuff. They found out that the rings of Saturn are actually glass particles, which are creating an antenna for the frequencies of the lower frequencies that they've been hammering our planet with. So, and there are several moons that also have these constructs, which is a glass particle around the moon, which is also an antenna projecting a frequency on this planet to keep us down. So all of that is being removed. George had the benefit of accepting 3 new ET races came in last week. One is like Chewbacca, but their hair is longer. It's a darker brown. They are approximately 60 feet tall, and they are warriors to the bone. These guys are so smart and so strong. So they came in to get these Nephilim. The second being is the lion, and their manes are shorter than what we see in a lion. They keep the mane around their face cut and groomed so that it's only maybe about 5 inches long, their mane is, and they're 44 feet tall, and they're coming in to round up these Nephilim. The other beings that came in are about 4 feet tall. They are some indigenous Indian race. I don't know if they're the Hopi or the indigenous group, but they're blue, and they have hairstyles that look like the Beatles. They have black hair, and it cuts sort of like the bowl, and they're very technologically advanced. So and this is all on ebh.club, when they go in to exterminate part of a planet, they will take over their technology. That's what is the first wave, is to go in and clean up the planet from the dark ones and get access to their technology. Then the blue Indians come in, and they know how to work the technology, and they're reversing the frequencies of the Saturn rings, and they're being able to shut down the dumb bases that are in telecommunication with the technology on other planets. So that is all going underway as well. So they do have Saturn. I don't know if it's the whole planet, but I do know they have a big portion of Saturn that has been taken over. Ray was also supposed to find out for me. There's another new one on or around the moon. They're called the gold gladiators, and they are extremely tall as well. I don't know, because he shows me like images, and it's in my mind's eye. So my mind's eye's maybe 2 to 3 inches. So they look really large. They could be maybe 50 feet. They could be, I'm not sure the height, but they're gold gladiators, and they are standing guard around the moon, and not allowing the dark ones to re-enter. They've already arrested a lot of the Draco Mafia out of the moon area. And what else is pretty fascinating is that there are reptilians. These are the vegetarian. There's one guy in particular. He's a big red dude, but he is he's helping the Nordics. The Nordics are working with him to clean out the planet, and the benevolent reptilians are handing over these dark ones that are third dimensional negative reptilians. So they're handing them over. They are the Nordics are rounding them up. I guess the Nordics' role is that they arrest them, and they have some kind of a weird handcuff on them that is like a titanium type of steel that's unbreakable, and then it has a laser light around it as well. So if they try to break free, it will actually burn their hands. They'll cut their hands off. So they can't get out of this. But the Nordics go in and round them up and then take them back. They have a special ship that is their kind of like cop car, that they contain the dark ones in these cells and then take them back to some planet that's on the outer bottom side of the Orion belt. I don't know what it is. When I get the broader vision, and then I go to Ray, and Ray gets the details. So maybe he could tell us.
The Nordiques, you're right on everything you're saying there, Slee. The Nordiques actually, after the Vulcans and the Blue Warriors go in and do the dirty work, the Nordiques will go in there and take them in the crafts like Sam saying. The Nordiques will take them back to their planet for trial. And treason and other things that try to work. The good vegetarian reptilians that Sam's talking about are 25 feet tall. Dark is starting to come in now. I can hear him talking. Because he knows what we're doing and what we're saying. And that's why he's coming in. You know your ET name, Alfred, is Alfie. George. He says hi.
Oh, good. Hi.
The other things that in this process, because back in 2011 and 12, they were working underground on a pneumatic fault line in the plates. And they're also in the process underneath Yellowstone. Fukushima seems to be something that you've been heard of. This is a time effort situation, the way they work. They're trying to work on everything on planet Earth that has been caused by the people that have been playing God down here and other things that they try and do. Because these people, these star people, so the audience understands everything, they're watchers and detectives of planet Earth. There's so many. And through the process of what they're doing out there in outer space, Saturn, Pluto, Moon, Uranus, the list goes on, I'm weeding out the bad ETs. The game is over. And as we go through this process and be moving forward into other dimensions through other timelines, all this process takes time. And, you know, everybody wants a year as humans because we think the human way. But again, it's not a prediction 2017. It's a major year for us humans. That's one thing for stress to me, and I get the information out in that way. And, you know, I'm not here to have people jump on me or Tolly or Sam or you, whoever is using the year 2017. It's a major year for everybody on this planet. But through the process, we're going to know more through the information of contactees, people like Sam, the list goes on. We're all in this together, and we're going to go through this together. And people will start understanding more. There's a lot of people starting awakening now. They're starting to push to the side of the truth. Everybody's tired of the bullshit. You know what we've been going through down here for the years, and kind of what we're talking about now, and what you've been talking about, and the great work that you do, Alfred. You know, I commend you, Sam commend you for what you do. We can't do what you do. You're handling a lot. We appreciate what you do. But they're really flying out there. That's that wind noise you're hearing. They're going through a lot of timelines.
So let me ask you, there's a lot of positioning going on the planet on the west side regarding, quote, disclosure, in the sense that inside BRICS, the Russians, Putin, and the president of the Russian Federation and the prime minister have come out saying, oh, you know, they're fairly open about ET contact, and now there's word that the Nordiques are the ones that are backing Putin, and he's working directly with positive ETs, whereas on the West, especially the U.S. as the military arm of what I call Vatlanusa, it's the Vatican, City of London, USA, which is kind of this sort of dimensional beast that's been holding the planet hostage. It seems to be that they've been taken over by the negative ETs, the Dracos, the Orions have really taken them over, first through treaty, and then they just mind control them into submission. Is that something that you see? I mean, what's the future of the U.S. corporation?
All that's going to change. They're going to do a lot of cleansing and weed out the bad. The other thing you just said about the Nordiques, so your audience understands this. There are good Nordiques and there are bad Nordiques. There are good praying mantis, there are bad praying mantis. I know that for a fact because me and my late father met the bad praying mantis. What your audience has to understand, I stress it on a lot of shows. There's good and bad out there. There's good and bad down here. It's not a perfect world for everybody. Even though you got star people that are way ahead of us in technology, in years of technology. There's so much going on in this process of what the good ETs that are all coming in. Sam gave you some new ones. I'll give you two more new ones. The monkey people. If you go to that mountain on Peru, not only did I meet number 33, the Birdman, there's a drawing of a bird, a giant bird, and a giant monkey, chimpanzee or monkey person. These people are real. I haven't met these people. Through my Fab Four and the bird people, these are the names I get. I just pass it on. There's giant teeth, 6 to 8 feet tall. They're supposed to be friendly that are getting involved in this. The Mole people, the Vulcans from planet Xantar, another galaxy. These people are coming from inner and outer different dimensions and galaxies far away. These are families united of the galactic truth. I'll just say that. It's a big family. They know about the Tolich Brahmana Council, the Silver Legion. They're backing everybody up in this process. And it's going to take a lot of different entities from all over to do and be programmed to make this process work. And it's going to take a lot of time. That's what the people that are listening to these shows have to understand. And they know what they're doing. It's beyond what we can even think. But we're in good hands. And I know this. I met 33 that are 29 that are good, 4 that are bad. So it just shows you the good outweighs the bad. And, it's the greatest education I was given, my late father, my grandfather, and even Sam. Sam's getting a great education out of this.
Yeah. Now Sam's been knocked off, and we're trying to get her back.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me try and add her again. I think she's having internet problems. Yeah. So, here.
You back, Sam?
Yes.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, I said something good about you, but I'm not going to repeat it.
Don't, you might get a headache. I wanted to add something. I saw something that Putin stated, and people might have missed it, but he said that we're moving into transparency, and he said that the BRICS Alliance were listening to they. They have deemed we're moving into transparency. And I caught that because who could possibly be above Putin, above China, above the BRICS Alliance that are deeming that we're moving into transparency and that they needed to create systems that were spiritually enhancing opposed to demonizing. And when Ray talks about the Nordics working with Putin or BRICS Alliance, it isn't just the Nordics. The Nordics are the ones that are presenting themselves, but they're representing a coalition of many, many, many races. So they're only the contacts, just like I have George as my one contact, but he represents all these different races. And they're called the White Brotherhood. And they are all for spiritual enhancement right now because we're all supposed to evolve. And they're all working together to make sure that everybody in our solar system and in our galaxy is freed to evolve, because if we don't evolve, then they can't evolve. And if the the Draco Mafia is spreading harmful chemicals into our environment, we have wormholes all around our planet, and this poison is going into other dimensions. So they're not just poisoning us, they're poisoning other dimensions. And that's why there is now this humongous coalition. There's 15 million different beings that are working just under George. And his position in space is from 3 to 6 o'clock. So 15 million are working that operation. And it's set up in waves or stages where different beings are being utilized to free us, to allow us to evolve, to get rid of this Archon network that has been controlling us. There's a lot of industries here on the planet like DuPont or Monsanto, the FCC, the FDA, all of these guys are all working in cohorts for a darker mission, and they're not going to be allowed to continue. So as they're amping up the cause and effect, they've turned up the dial, you're going to start to see when these guys do something or try to pull something that it's going to backlash on them and really start to take them down. So we're at an accelerated speed for that. We're going to start to see more of that. By the way, FCC or the government is not in control of our internet. They cannot take it down. The internet is being held and propped up and monitored by the benevolent ETs. And there are races that are specifically designated to just that. So when they talk about the FCC and their 400-page document of what they're going to do is total bunk because they're not in charge of it. So they can pass whatever law that they want. The USA Corporation was dissolved in October. So they're an illegal de facto government that's treasonous to America. Therefore, they have broken their contractual agreement with the American Republic. They were supposed to represent us, and they're not. They're not in our best interest. Just like the Queen of England, she has broken her contract with the people of the UK. She is not acting in their best interest. They have flipped. They're evil, they're demonic, they're doing horrendous actions against the people. Therefore, they are not in charge anymore. They have relinquished their rights to be in charge. So, and whenever they do anything, they're going to be hurting themselves. And anybody else that, I see these negative comments on different shows that they are harassing people like the disinfo agents, those people need to be careful too. And then there's many, 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 many people that want to have ET contact. And if people are judging us because of our hair, our voice, our frequency, the words that we choose, if you think we're weird, wait till you start hearing the Serpo Greys, because they speak in a slurping type of voice. There's some that are the praying mantis that or other insect races. They use a clicking type of a sound to communicate. There are some that might not smell the way that you want. So we need to get out of our judgments and quit looking outside to demonize everybody else around you so that you can feel good about yourself. You need to go within and improve yourself so that you're accepting of the frequencies that you want in your world, regardless of what they speak like, their tone of voice, the way that they look. We need to get beyond that. And the only way you're going to do that is if you go within and fix yourself. If you catch yourself and you have to put other people down to make yourself look good, then there's a problem. That's a red flag. And you need to fix that because the Vulcans, they sound weird to us. And if you're going to be cutting them out of your life because you think that they sound weird or they look weird, or then you're just not spiritually evolved as you need to be to have ET contact or to accept some of these higher dimensional beings into your reality. Plus, if you're in a negative state, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between the good ETs and the bad ones. If you're always in a negative state yourself, then you're going to draw to you more of the negative beings because you can't tell the difference. So that would be my advice and recommendation for people. So is there any other questions, Alfred?
Well, you were going down about the USA government, and then you went over to the Queen of England. What about the Vatican?
The Vatican too, IMF Bank. They, all of it is controlled by the Draco Mafia. So on its face, you can't trust them. I mean, we've tried over and over and over and over again to allow these people to pull their heads out and do the right thing, and they can't. The ETs have gone to them numerous times in the last 3 years to get them to do the right thing, and they won't. They've signed treaties, they've made promises, and all they did was buy themselves some extra time, but their frequency does not match ours anymore. So they're not going to be allowed to exist. The other thing is that, you see all this crap about the currency is going to crash and our economy is going to crash. That's bunk too. Because if you study John F. Kennedy set up a gold-backed currency days before they killed him. I think 2 days before they killed him. There's actually a John F. Kennedy system that was put into place that's backed up. The gold was set up with there's a global currency where you have to put your money into like a vault, and it backs up your currency. That's all been done. And the John F. Kennedy funds is actually in the banks already. So as the old system comes down, there's already a new system going in its place. And I'm seeing this with health and healthcare. I'm establishing on EVH the Quantum Health Home Clinic, where you can join EVH and I'll work with you to set up your own home health clinic. And working with Tesla's technology and different quantum health technology to heal yourself. And as people start to learn for themselves how to heal themselves, there's no way they're going to go back to Western medicine. There's no way that they're going to allow for any flu shot or injection of their babies or some of this derelict stuff they've been doing over the last 100 years. And Western medicine is toast. I have talked to several nurses in the last few days. The way that Obamacare is set up is that people that are on welfare and people that don't have jobs and they don't feel important in their lives, they've created these dis-ease, which is also a state of mind, but they go into hospitals and they start demanding that the doctors and nurses do this and that because they have free health care. And I feel really sorry for doctors because, they're getting slammed. They're in the middle. They've been trained to sell drugs, and now they're getting slammed by people that don't have any importance in their real life. So they go into these hospitals or doctors' offices and they hold the doctors hostage, because if they go into a hospital and they're not treated as if they should be in like an elite spa, Obamacare calls them at home, finds out what kind of service they got, and if they're unhappy with their service, then Obamacare won't pay the hospitals. So now the hospitals are being held hostage. They're working short-staffed because they're not always getting the funding for the services that they are providing. So a lot of the nurses are leaving because they're being treated like crap. Doctors are being treated like crap. I get it myself with people that want to make demands of me, and they think that they can call the shots, and when I don't do what they want to do, then they say, well, I'll just go to somebody else. Well, that's great, but I'm the only one that does what I do in the whole state of Arizona, so you're not going to go anywhere. And I see that they do this to Western doctors all the time, and I feel sorry for them. Their hands are tied. But you can also see where the really good nurses and good doctors are leaving Western medicine in droves. So now you're going to have kind of like people that would have to be at the bottom of the barrel that are going to be representing Obamacare. And the only people that are going to join Obamacare are the ones that don't have any importance in their own life, and the ones that don't have the resources to heal themselves, and the ones that have their hand out for free. And what you get for free is kind of like the bottom of the barrel resources. So I see that in health, but it's also in other industries as well. Go ahead, Ray. Sorry.
Also, Sam, tell them what you're doing for EBH Guide Club, detoxing these people, how much it costs compared to what it would really cost. Tell them what you're doing, because this needs to get out.
Well, I opened up a clinic at the end of last year, and I realized I was working with just one person at a time in my small little community, and I wasn't really making the impact that I wanted to make with quantum health. Quantum health is the same principles that our creator God or creator ETs from higher dimensions use to create our planet, to create and build the universe, the galaxies. It's the same principles. So I've applied that to our health so that we can restore our bodies to the way that they were meant to be, so that our spirits can work through our bodies and do what we need to do. You have to have a healthy vehicle. And so I created a website. It's called empoweringbetterhealth.com. I've been working on this for 3 years. And I was telling you about this before, Alfred, that the Draco reptilians own the public sector. And the private sector is where you're going to find creation, where you're going to find rebuilding the body. So in order to do that, you have to be in a private membership, and I charge $10 a month. You get all of George's diaries, plus you also get my protocols and learning how to heal yourself, and then you can call me and have an interview with me, and we can go over your health and figure out where you want to go. You can also email me your eyes, and I do the iridology, and we put together an annual plan to start healing what is deteriorated in your body, because I can see it in the eyes. And what I use is diet primarily, which is the Hippocratic Oath. So you use your diet to restore the health of your body, but also rebuild your body, what is broken, which Western medicine never talks about. Rebuilding your body, and also looking at what needs to be done in order of importance, which I can see that in the eyes. So if your kidneys are shutting down, or your liver is shutting down, or if your colon's not working right, I can see that through iridology, and people can send me their eyes, and I'll do a map, and we'll put together a whole plan so that people can use Mother Nature and quantum health principles to rebuild their body. They can do it in the comforts of their own home. So this is what I'm establishing, and I want to do it on a global spectrum. That's why I'm on the internet. And then I'm hoping that other people will start to pick up these principles and be able to use them, and we can start making the change with our healthcare system. So it's $10 a month, and it's on ebh.club and empoweringbetterhealth.com.
That's unreal. You're fantastic. I love what you're doing. One thing you missed, Sam, because you went off, and I was saying it to Alfred. There's good nardiques, bad nardiques, good praying mantis, bad praying. There's good and bad of each species, and this is the education me and my late father had learned going through the process of meeting all 33, and even more bad ones. But even the tiny insects down here on this planet, there are huge ones out there. So there's a lot connected with this. And man, everything you just said, Sam, is right on. Compared to what they would really cost somebody, $10 a month, he doesn't, to cure your health. And you're doing a fantastic job. I commend you for that.
I just like to confirm from our research the direction of what Sandwich is saying, in the sense that our research shows that the pedophile, the global pedophile, ritual child sacrifice, and child trafficking networks trace back to the Draco, CIA, MK Ultra, NSA, U.S. government connections, and then all of that traces back into a network which is the sort of their power base, which is into the governments, the parliaments, the monarchies, the churches like the Vatican, the Talmudic state, the Talmudic churches, the Islam, the healthcare system, the state agencies like child care agencies, worldwide, so that it is, all of these agencies have been infected through that draconian energy, which traces back to the ritual human sacrifice energy for the takeover of the planet, and that is a mind virus. And people can go to newsinsideout.com and see our various research articles on that, so that there's a sound 3D research base to her assertions, aside from the research base that she has done. There's independent verification there, and I just wanted to assert that.
Well, the other thing I want to add to that is that it's bad enough that pharmaceutical drugs are putting heavy metals and parasites into their injections, which brings down the body, but they're also they're creating an acid state, which we're an alkaline body, so it makes no logical sense whatsoever. If you have a dis-ease, it's because you have an acid state. And you need to bring back the functionality of the body to create that alkaline state, to heal, so you can be at ease instead of dis-ease. So there's two big issues with Western medicine right there. The clincher is going to be when people find out about the black goo. There is black goo in pharmaceutical drugs that allows for archons to latch on to our bodies. That's how they're getting the possessions, is through this black goo. So anybody that's on pharmaceutical drugs is open and subjected to archonic possession of demons. That's what's going on. when somebody says this is going on X, I go and look it up, and well, how is that happening? How are they doing it? It all goes back to these pharmaceutical drugs. And if anybody that has seen somebody that is on a lot of drugs, you'll notice that they change personalities. Steve Richards is a fabulous guy who I'm going to be getting on my show, and Alfred, you're going to be interviewing too. Is he can actually go into somebody's space through a telepathic means, go in through a dimension and find where the Archon is and what Archon is there. And he's gone into prisons, he's gone into mental health facilities, and he finds that these people that are, banging their head and supposed to be checked out really had been taken over by these Archons. And when he removes the Archons, that the person, their essence, comes back into the physical vehicle. So not only do we want to avoid Western medicine because of the acid state, what they're injecting us with, but also the black goo. When I detox somebody, this black goo comes out in the water. You can smell it, you can see it, and people will come into me and be totally depressed, upset, angry, what have you. I pull this black goo out, and then you'll see them, they're happy, they're euphoric, they're empowered, they can take, and their life changes once we pull out that black goo, and it's physically visible to watch this occur. It's not, weeby-jeeby voodoo stuff. It's actual tangible evidence that we're getting when we're working with people. So that's what I want people to do, is start to change the negativity of what the Draco Mafia has created and create a spiritual space for themselves. The problem is that they have to want to do it, and they have to put the effort forward to do it. Nobody's going to do it for them.
Right. Thank you. Now, we're coming to the end of this segment, but I have one question that I'd like to ask both of you, actually, since you both have different research paths or, joint interactive research paths. One of the things that I've heard, and actually someone wrote me with a reflection and saying that what's happening now, and this is the question. They said that what's happening now is that we're preparing to move into, Earth is being moved into a new universe. Not only a new dimension, but we're moving, the multiverse is composed of multiple universes, and we're actually being moved to see a new universe.
Right.
Has that concept ever come up in your communications or information?
You want to start, Sam? How do we want to do it? You there, Sam?
George. Yeah. If you look at, layer on layer on layer, if you think of a layer cake, each one of those layers is a dimension. And on each dimension is a mirrored image of the universe that we have, but it becomes lighter. It becomes more spiritual in nature. It becomes cleaner because people are more in tune with the importance of their planet that they live on, and they work in tandem and harmony with their mother. So when you talk about a new universe, that's what we're actually going into. I had Sherry Wild on my show last week, and she talked about the new Earth that we're going into. And she's been to it, which is on another dimension. So there is an aspect of our planet that is already created and waiting for us as we go up in through the dimensions into the new universe, right? Which has our new planet. That's the way it's working. If you think about each one of us right now that's here in this timeline, there's other timelines where a fractal essence of our spirit is on other timelines. So the same is true as below is above, the same as what is occurring on other dimensions, is that we have a fractal Mother Earth that's also on other dimensions where she's already restored. And we're being pulled into that dimension to experience a lighter, more spiritual way of life. So that's what George has taught me.
And you're right, because, whether I say it how I say it and then how Sam said it, it's timelines of steps of other dimensions. It's like first grade, second grade, third grade, but you're advancing higher and higher each time. And we're going into a new universe. This is the process that we have to go through. And our way of life with this greed, so-called money, which will not exist in the next 8 years, because we will be trading goods. Gold is one of the goods, and energy, just like ET. And through the process, we're going to change from a 3D Corbin to a fourth dimensional crystallized being. And each step we take, like when we get to the sixth dimension, which is way, way down there, we're a spirit. We're a complete different creature. We don't have a body, but we have the power in the sixth dimension to process into a form that we want to transfer into. But as far as fourth and fifth, we will be healthy, no disease. We'll have a human face. We will be taller. And we're going to be using teleportation. Will be the first thing as we go into the fourth and progress. And the teachers that are helping us go through this smooth are going to teach us the technologies, and we will learn more. We're going to work side by side with these people, Alfred, when the first ones come here. And to make your audience understand, after all that process is done, many good will come, and we will advance even more. This is the whole process, and I know it's complicated to your audience, but if you use common sense, the answers will come to you the way this process has to be made. But it's a timely process that will take a lot of time to do this. Go ahead, Alfred. I'm sorry.
No, I think that you've explained it very, very clearly and very well, both of you. I certainly want to thank both of you, and thank George, and thank the Fabulous Four, and thank all of the multidimensional beings that are involved in this process, and that and yourselves that are coming forward and that are sharing this with us, and in other venues. And I know that this sharing itself, at least in my own mind, involves an elevation of frequencies, because you're sharing with us a higher frequency that in turn has been shared with you, and then that we can share with others. And I know from scientific experiments that I've performed with other faculties at Exo University, not now Omniversity, that we can actually share these frequencies over these internet broadcasts. So those of you who are listening, who wish to attune to it, you can actually partake of these increased frequencies that are coming in through the universe interdimensional portal and elsewhere, and now that are sweeping in our solar system, in the dimensions, as we partake in density ascension, in all the complexity that that Ray and Dr. Sam Muggsy and George and all of those who have been present in a positive way on this broadcast can share. So thank you very much for taking this time. And
can I add one more thing?
Yeah, please.
Okay, when he talks about we're going to be, now Tulloch has done this too, where they say we're going to be light beings, that we're going to be taller, we're going to be healthier. It's not that, ta-da, we've ended there and that's where we're going to end up. That's just what these guys were shown. But they don't have the background that I do, that I can see where we're developing this. We're training ourselves. We're evolving into this. So Ray and Tulloch see the end result. But what I see is that when you study the DNA is a crystal form body. And as we clean up our bodies, as we change our frequencies, we're starting to ignite those other rungs on the DNA and igniting them with a crystal base. This is what they're talking about as a crystal body. We're already there. My EBH.club, my home clinic, what I'm doing is working with the individuals to create that, to help accentuate that within the body. And I have frequencies that I can send over the airways to help to stimulate that crystal ignition. Does that make sense?
It sure does. I mean, I can feel it myself just in this session that we're doing now, the increase of frequencies as we're, as George and those multidimensional frequencies come down through Ray and through yourself and down into the broadcasts that are mediated out through what we're recording and broadcasting here.
Very good.
Yeah. Well,
and then everybody can have access to that in their own home and set up their own wellness center. This is what I want to offer to people, that we don't have to go external anymore. We don't have to give up our power to people that we don't know just because they have a white coat on. You assume that they are that they know the maximum about our health, but they don't. They only know the Draco system. They don't know Creator's system of frequencies, and everything about healing and our vibration comes with frequencies, and that's what quantum health is all about.
And I'll say something too, because Sam, you're a major player in what you do, and George and the other ETs understand what you're doing. That's a big reason why George came into your life. But we need people like you, and without people like you, we would have nowhere to go. And your EBH Club and what you're doing is going to help a lot of people. It's amazing work of what you're doing. And I just want to thank you, Alfred, and I just want to say one more thing, Alfred.
Sure.
You see how the one always gets the last word? Great, Sam. Thanks, Alfred.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alfred. This was a great interview. Thank you.
I think that we're hearing George in the background, correct?
Right.
Yeah, when I get all wound up, you can see like when my energy starts to really go, he likes that. So he starts to come in and he hears me being enthusiastic about changing and healing and taking control of our world. He loves it, and so do the other ETs. That's why we can't be a victim, why we can't just wait for them to come in and solve all of our problems. We each have a role to play, and if people are listening to this radio show, they have a role to play. Their key is going to be to find what works for them, what fits for them, and what they can contribute to our new world. Because the more people that get involved, the faster we're going to get there. And the ETs are so excited about this.
They are. And Alfred, my Fab Four are listening to this show, and not just George.
Sorry, could you say that again, because it wasn't.
My Fab Four are actually listening to your show, and like Sam said, they are excited because this is what the information that Sam gets out, I get out, we're supposed to get out, and for your public to hear this, and they're so excited on what has been said in these shows and what they're doing to help us further, and I just want that to be set out there for your people.
Well, thank you very much. And we look forward to your joining us again in the future as these events develop and as we move further into the process of our ascension and our self-activation and our awakening. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take care.